Welcome back to the Black and Gold Report. We're still joined by head men's basketball coach Ben Miller. Coach, as we mentioned in the previous segment, the players as well as the coaching staff and the families that were out there had a few nights to take in Disneyland. Now I know there is at least one story that I've heard about George Blakeney and Space Mountain that you might want to share with our viewers, but talk about sort of the other places that you got to see out there as well as Disneyland.
Well, overall, I mean, it's a great experience. You know, we talked about the basketball opportunities and experiences we had on the court and learned a lot about our team. And it's like the old saying, sometimes the truth hurts, or can you handle the truth? I think we got a true picture early this year of where we stood and clearly some things we really need to improve on. So that was the best thing basketball-wise. Off the court, I mean, there was a variety of experiences. Just, you know, being in San Francisco in the Bay Area was really unique, and there's no place like it in the country. And, you know, we had 3 guys that never been on a plane, so just that experience alone and seeing those guys go through the challenges of travel was great. But seeing Golden Gate Bridge and Alcatraz and just a different culture in California was really unique. But then, obviously, Disneyland was you know, first time experience for a lot of the guys, and seeing some of those big 6'9", 6'8" guys get scared to death on a roller coaster, or seeing George Blakeney actually break the ride on Space Mountain. He shut down the ride for like 20 minutes because he and our 2 6'9" guys tried to get in the same chair in Space Mountain, and that didn't work well. So they had repairmen out. They had to get. I asked them if they needed the jaws of life to get them freed from the actual car, but they didn't need that. Nobody was hurt, fortunately, but something we can laugh about. And I think they had some memories off the court that they'll have for a long time, and really look back on the whole experience was really neat.
Now, 9 days away from Pembroke, a coast-to-coast trip, you probably learned a lot about your team.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit more about yourself that maybe you want to share.
Yeah, it was, for them, I do think they really bonded. And sometimes bonding isn't always from fun experiences. Sometimes it's going and getting your tail kicked in San Francisco, or having some tough games. And, you know, you win together, you lose together, but also those things off the court, the travel, and seeing the anxiety, and watching some of our experienced flyers trying to help some of their teammates through that first flying experience, or being away from home where you run out of socks and, you know, they got to go down to the, you know, do their laundry at the hotel. And, you know, actually a couple of them getting a little homesick, some of the younger guys. But overall, I think they had a great time. They did bond. And even though we didn't always play as well as we would have liked, I think hopefully over the course of the season, we'll look back and say that was a good experience for our team to grow together and learn a lot about each other and about ourselves.
Now, a little bit of a break from competition once you actually get back from California to Pembroke. Sort of going to lump these 3 games together, which I'm sure you'll appreciate a little bit. Not so good of a result at Wingate, but you bounce back this weekend, get 2 wins against some pretty good competition down in Florence.
Yeah. It's you know, we did have some time to prepare for that Wingate game, but again, I give them a lot of credit. They've got a veteran team, and they came out and played really well. And we didn't. I mean, we've got again, you talk about we don't ever want to you know, make excuses, and we don't want our guys to look at those things. But the reality of it is, we've had one veteran player that's been healthy here these first couple weeks, and it's taken a toll with Chanel being out. We got a couple other guys, KJ, Griffin, Ben Jacobs, that are just had nagging injuries, and I think we're hoping that we have some time here around finals to rest those guys a little bit before a really tough stretch run before Christmas.
You talk about resting your guys. You seem to have plenty of depth coming off your bench, and I'll save this last question and ask you. Your youth has sort of emerged these first 6 games. Guys like Comaine Rose, who sat on the shelf last year and is getting the chance to prove himself this year, but you're also getting pretty good minutes from Alex Bradley, who made his first career start against St. Andrews, and then also Brandon Winford, who's improved.
Yeah, if there's a silver lining to some of our veterans being hurt and banged up, some of those young guys have gotten really valuable experience, and, you know, taking a few lumps too, but that's part of the learning process. And I think even though we do have 3, you know, veteran seniors, the rest of the bunch is freshmen and sophomores. And so those guys, the experiences they've had, and having some success last weekend was really important for their confidence. Because, coming off California Wingate game, I think some of them were a little shook. And to see them start to get their swagger back a little bit was really important going into this next stretch run.
All right, Coach. I appreciate you joining us this week, and stay tuned for a day in the life of UNCP football quarterback Luke Charles.